Well, good morning, Saints. Welcome to Today with Frankie B. Yes, it's me live in the studio today, and I'm thankful that I could make it. And we made it through the polar vortex. Ooh, wasn't that something, y'all? I don't ever want to go through that again. Because now we can get ready for the regular winter temperatures. I got in the car this morning, it was 17, and trust me, I was happy. I had to let my car warm up that long. Now let's pray. Father, I thank you for this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Saturday morning. And I thank you for the listeners today. And I thank you for blessing them in a mighty, mighty way. In the name of Jesus. Well, guess what happens today? Good old Phil. You know the little groundhog that they're going to pull out the ground? He's going to predict whether or not we're going to have a harsh February or a nice February. Anything after that vortex to me is nice, as long as it doesn't get minus anything degrees. So I'm all for that good news. I'm gonna try to tune in and see what old Phil be talking about. And then they had a cute little article about him too, talking about how he's treated well at the place where he's at with his little wife. I was cracking up. I'm like, ain't that cute? He got a little wife. Well, now I want to talk about that polar vortex that we just had. And I was looking at an interesting article that I saw on Twitter. According to Freep.com, the National Weather Service temperature of minus 13 degrees was recorded by 6 a.m. on Thursday, January 31st, 2019, surpassing the record on January 31st, 1920 of minus 7 degrees. Now, I really, like I said before, do not want to see that again in my lifetime. That vortex can come back again in 100 years. Of course, I may still be alive at 102 or whatever, but still, I still don't want to see that. Now, and guess what else? This is a special month. We get this month because it's Black History Month. It's 28 days long, but still, we get it. I know some people say it should be Black History Month every day, but I'm thankful we get this month. February 1st to February 28th. Yes, and February 29th with leap year. So welcome to Black History Month. We get to hear about blacks who contributed to our world to make it a better place to live. Plus, thanks to the New York Times I was researching this morning, they have articles about a few of them. Now let's start with Gladys Bentley. If any of you have not heard of her, she was a gender-bending blues performer in the 1920s, and she was part of Harlem royalty. Isn't that something? So in an article written by Giovanni Rosanello, he talks about how Gladys wore top hat and tails every time she performed at a place called the Clam House, which was a Prohibition-era speakeasy in Harlem. She's very famous. So all you performers out there who think you're doing something new, you ain't doing nothing new. Why don't you research Gladys Bentley to see some of the things that she did, and see if you can maybe duplicate it or something. No, just joking. Now another pioneer of the time was Scott Joplin. In an article written by Will Haygood, he talks about how Mr. Joplin wrote The Entertainer, I'm not gonna do it, huh? And he wrote the groundbreaking opera Tremonisha. I hope I'm saying that right. I didn't even know Mr. Joplin was black, which is ignorance on my part. But now I know. Not only was he black, but he was known as a ragtime giant, and he was an in-demand performer. Now this is exciting because all of you youngsters out there who are practicing your instruments, keep practicing, because one day we may be talking about you, and you too can be a success. And it is an awesome thing to have a gift, because God gives us all a gift that we can use. We may as well use it to His glory, and we can be successful at the same time. Now, every now and then, I'll turn to watch bike races on TV. I like calling them bike races. I can't do it myself because I don't feel like riding a bike. I like sitting down on a chair. Anyway, but did you know that there was a famous cyclist who made history? Now, in an article written by Randall C. Archibald, he wrote about Major Taylor. Yes, that was his name, Major Taylor. He was a world champion bicyclist, and he was doing some of those tough times. In 1898, yes, in 1898, he traveled the globe racing and was known as the Black Cyclone. Isn't that something? Now, it almost makes me want to buy a bike and start racing. But no, I'm just joking. Like I said, I like to sit on the chair. Plus, if I get on the bike, I'd probably fall down. They say it's something that you never forget, riding a bike. But I still like, unless I get one of them ones I've seen, them, they look like a big tricycle, but they're bigger for adults. I think I'd ride the one of those. I'd probably look cute, get me a little straw hat. Oh, look, I got off the subject again. Back to my subject. However, any of you youngsters, once again, out there cycling and just trying to race and beat everybody in the neighborhood, keep it up. And maybe one day you'll go to the Tour de France. And like I say, you can make the history books and we'll be talking about you too. Now, for all you fashionistas out there, the ones who like to draw, you like to draw dresses, like to draw skirts and just some frilly stuff. And it just looks so nice. Well, they have something, an article for you to encourage you to keep on doing what you're doing. And there was a woman named Zelda Wynn Valdez. And Tanisha C. Ford wrote an article about her because she was a fashion designer who outfitted the glittery stars of screen and stage. And three of the famous people that she outfitted was Ella Fitzgerald. And you know how great of a singer she was. She really liked to dress. And thanks to Miss Valdez, she wore some of the nicest clothes. And get this, Marie Cole, the wife of Nat King Cole, and her entire bridal party, she made those dresses as well. And I'm pretty sure they were really nice. And she went on to do some other things too. Now, all of this can be found on Twitter, in the New York Times page, or you can just go to the New York Times page on the internet and look up this article about all these wonderful black people. And let's see. Oh, and she was the designer for making all the clothes for wives of famous black men. Now, I know a lot of wives of famous people who love to have their outfits done when they go somewhere. So it was a good thing that she was around at the time when it was probably difficult to get designer clothes, but she was a black woman who designed for black women of any size and any height. That's a good thing, because sometimes being 5 feet, you can't really find nothing. That's how tall I am. So if I was back in that day, I'd have to find her too to make me something nice. Anyway, and I'm going on to the black businessmen of America, because there are a lot of you out there, and congrats to you and your success. I know how hard that you have to work to get to that success, and I want to encourage you as well. In an article written by Gordon K. Hurd, he wrote about Alfred Hare. What a name. You probably never even heard of Alfred Hare, but he lived in Florida, and he was a black charismatic man, and he created a movement in Florida for the Florida black artists. And what he did was, with his charisma, he helped to start the Florida Highwaymen. It was a group of artists who painted landscapes of their home state. And they were very, very successful. And there's probably some of his drawings and stuff, or their drawings. And if you research that, I'm pretty sure you can find that too. There's so much to find when you do research. I love doing research because I learned something that I didn't know before. Like this morning, as I'm just going about finding something to write for my show and finding something to write for our prestigious Black History Month, I came across all this information. And I want to share it with you because I believe that we should know about some people that aren't really talked about on a daily basis. Like you got TMZ and you got other shows, and all they talk about is the same famous people all the time. But I like to know about the history of how someone became a success, or what they did to help the country, become a great country, and just how they contributed things to society. Like with me, when they talk about me years from there, they're going to say, you know that Frankie B, she had a great show on WMKM 1440 AM. And I tuned in every week to listen to it because the girl be talking about some good stuff. Well, that's what I say about myself. If you don't encourage yourself, who will? And why wait for anybody else to encourage yourself? Encourage yourself every single day. Tell yourself how good you are, how wonderful you look because God didn't make no junk. And then go about your day with your head up high and just keep on keeping on. Okay? Anyway, so let me get back to my topic. Now, before I continue, one of the main reasons that the New York Times talked about these distinguished and talented black people was to not only talk about them, but to rectify neglecting to write their obituaries when they died. And today, I've decided to share about these people and the contributions they made to society when they were alive. Well, you're listening to me on Today with Frankie B. And once again, I thank you for joining me. And I want you to tune in every time because even if I'm not here, I leave material so that you can be blessed and encouraged to keep on living your life, keep on dreaming your dream, and just keep doing what God would have you to do. And I want to take a quick time out here to let you know that you matter, that your life matters to someone. Your life definitely matters to God because if it didn't, He wouldn't have given you to your parents. So if you are having difficulty at any time, talk to someone, talk to a professional. Don't try to take your own life because it would be a loss because God has something for you even until the end of your time because you have until your last dying breath to become a success. God knows what He put in you, and He wants you to be able to share that with everyone. Share it with the world so that the world can be blessed by the gift that He's given you. And give God the glory when that gift becomes known to everyone because you are a success going somewhere to happen. Ooh, hallelujah. I like that. Anyway, I now want to share about another talented black woman, an actress who was truly ahead of her time. In an article written by Anita Gates, she wrote about Nina Mae McKinney. Miss McKinney defined the barrier of the age to find stardom in Europe of all places. Unlike today, there were parts of Europe where blacks could become successful. Now, unfortunately, all over the globe, racism is just rampant, and we have to try to remember that all people matter, no matter what race, color, or creed that they are. But what she did was she was called the first black movie star. And she showed off her talents in all the movies that she did. And she was famous for this one dance that she did called the Swanee Shuffle in the 1929 film Hallelujah. Well, I went on YouTube to look at her in the Swanee Shuffle, and it is impressive. And I'm going to try to learn that dance today. The Swanee Shuffle. Go on YouTube, look at it. It is amazing, and it is full of energy. So with energy that I'm going to muster up, I'm going to learn that dance before the week is out. And I also wonder if they would teach that in tap dancing classes. It would be, I think, advantageous for them to learn that dance. Because there's so many dances out and everything today. But the old dances, those are the ones that really define what you can do. Because you had to have energy for that dance. Oh my goodness gracious. Well, anyway, let me go on to another person. We have for all you future inventors out there, because I know there are a lot of you. I keep reading articles every day about a young person that's just invented something, which impresses me because, like I say, God gives us a gift, and He gives the same gift sometimes to more than one person. So whoever gets to that patent first or that copyright first or whatever whoever gets there first is the one who wins the prize. Like my grandma used to say, the early bird gets the worm. Anyway, so I want to encourage you by what I'm about to share. Now, in an article written by Amisha Padnini, She wrote about Granville T. Woods. I'm not sure if you've heard about him, but he was a black inventor known as the Black Edison. Now, he had trouble trying to keep his patent and keep his inventions to himself, but some of the inventions that he was credited for includes the third rail for subways to operate, as well as safety and communication mechanisms for railway safety. Isn't that something? I am just amazed by that information because I've written on subways, and because of his invention, his technology, we can ride safely on the rails. And speaking of that, I wish we had subways here in Michigan because I, for one, would like to be able to get on the subway to go from like Detroit to Lansing, Detroit to Marquette, something like that, because it takes 8 hours by car to get to Marquette. It probably takes even longer to get to other places, but we have some beautiful cities here in Michigan, and I don't want to use up all my gas to get it. I would just, instead of Greyhound is great, but I would like to get on the subway just to look around and see stuff and go from one train to the other. If I have to do Greyhound, I will, because I can't drive to all these places because gas is high. Did you see how high gas is going up to? Some legislators decided to raise the gas prices by 47 cents. Now, with people getting laid off and people not having jobs, people trying to feed their whole families, the price of gas needs to stay where it is, $1.93 to $1.99. Well, that's my take on that. Once again, I have digressed because why? It is needed at this time because information is out there, and if I can find it, I'm going to find it. And if it comes in my head, I'm going to give it to you. That's just because that's who I am. I'm Frankie B, full of information at all times. Just ask me if you see me. And if you do see me, say hi. Make sure to wave real nice and stuff so that way I can wave too. Hey, we may do the nay-nay out on the street. No, I'm just joking. I haven't mastered that dance either. So if you know how to nay-nay and you see me, teach me how, because I need to know. And then I saw on YouTube this morning about this mom and son doing their dance on the stage. I was cracking up because she was keeping up. Like that one dance when she went down, came back up, I'd still be down there trying to, son, get me off this floor. Anyway, that's another story. And I love telling stories because my grandma used to tell me stories, and I love to tell stories. And sometimes they call me random, and I don't know why, because if I think of something, it just comes out. So anyway, let me get back to my topic because I have more information. And guess what I came across? I bet you didn't even know about a pioneering filmmaker who is black. Yes, we have the Spike Lees and Tyler Perrys and the Daniels of this era, but guess who we had back in the day? In an article written by Monica Drake, a man named Oscar Micheaux, that's Micheaux, if you want to look him up. He was a prefiguring independent director, and he wrote, directed, and produced 40 or more films. Isn't that something? Because when I used to watch Tyler Perry's plays, and I would see that he wrote it, produced it, and acted, and all that stuff, and directed, and I was like, wow, look at God's gift right there. Just doing things to help the public and to keep them entertained. Anyway, let's get back to Oscar Micheaux. He did these things from 1918 to 1948, way back in the day. Isn't that something? And I wonder if Spike Lee and Tyler Perry and a few other, Lee Daniels, that's his name, and a few other of those wonderful men who do all these things, who wear so many hats when they do a film. I wonder if they know about him to see that they're in good company. And when I looked at his picture, because the article in the New York Times also has pictures of all these people, I only picked a few of them because I wanted to talk about so many things today. Because in my head, there is a lot of things going on, be spinning, because every time I turn around, I'm thinking about something. Sometimes it's so hard to sleep because I think of so many things, and I like to share those things that I think about. I write them down, and then guess what happens? I come on here and tell them to you. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Yes, yes, yes. Well, anyway, I hope all these things that I have told you about help to inspire you entrepreneurs out there. Because whatever dream or desire that you have, keep taking those steps you need, and one day you will make it. You will make it. And I want to thank the New York Times for all this wonderful information, and to all the writers who took the time to research all this information and to put it in an article for us to read and to look at. And it's there for the future. Because by this being Black History Month, who knows, some student may need to have some information to look back on, and they can, because this article is possible. I love social media too. And now I want to turn your attention to something near and dear to my heart, broadcasting. I want to share about the Black pioneers who paved the way for it to be possible for a Black woman to speak on the air. That'd be me. In doing my research, I found that Mary D. Dudley, on August 1st, 1948, when WHOD went on the air for the first time, broadcasted her first 15-minute show to become the nation's first African-American female disc jockey with the daily show that she broadcasted. And she broadcasted on WHOD from 1948 to 1956. Yes, 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 girl power. All right. Anyway, now that paved the way for many, many more Black women to go on to do many, many things. Women of color. Women who just had the dream to do something, and they did it. Some of those women, Martha Jean McQueen, I'm pretty sure some of you are familiar with her, Kathy Hughes, and a few other talented women who went on to start their own, not only broadcast on the air, but to start their own stations, to become powerhouses. I mean, look at Kathy Hughes' life and some other women out there who just, some of them stayed behind the scenes to do what they wanted to do. Martha Jean Queen, she owned her station and she was out there in the public. That's what I would like to do. I would like to start a station, and I would like to, well, I'm already on the air, but still there's more God has for me, so I'm listening, God. You go ahead and do your thing. Now, I've loved radio since I was a little girl. I used to mimic the DJs on the air. My dad wondered why I wasn't outside. It's because I was upstairs in the room listening to the DJ. He was doing some amazing thing. He would talk, then he would play music. I'm like, wow. Then I forgot about that. But when I remembered, there were avenues open to me where I could go and study how to do this. And then there's this place. I came here and hello, God did his thing, and I'm thanking him for it, because it's amazing to be able to talk all the time, to be able to talk to people who listen, who are interested. And I don't get in trouble and be told to be quiet and do my work, because I am doing my work that God gave me to do. All right. Now, I love to talk with you, and I thank you for joining me today, because you are the best audience every week who tune in to listen to the Frankie B Show on WMKM 1440 AM. Yes, one of the best radio shows on the dial. They have music all day, they have gospel all day, so no matter what time you tune in, you can even listen on Radio Box if you can't get it at your home, and then you can stream it on other sites as well. But whatever you do, you just take time to listen, because WMKM 1440 AM is the station to listen to. And they have great programming, and they have great engineers who are here to do the job if you need it. Like with me, I come in and I have an awesome engineer, and she's very talented, and I'm going to mention her name. Her name is Ashley, and she's the best, and I'm going to give her a clap right now, because she all that. That's what I say. I don't care if she didn't like it, that's too bad. I think she's wonderful, and I must talk about it, because I give God the glory for the talent that she has to come and to bless me, and to just let y'all know that I am on the air. And I want you to join me again next time for Today with Frankie B. And right now, we're going to have some selections from Mr. Fred Hammond, another guy who I think is just amazing and uses his gift that God gave him to bless you. Now be blessed, and I'll see you next time.